Big game last night, and obviously it's been talked about ad nauseum. Philadelphia Eagles edged the Green Bay Packers 34-27. Really good game. I think two teams that at the end of the season will be in the playoffs. The Eagles certainly needed it. Green Bay, you would have liked to have had it if you're the Packers, but far from the end of the world. They're still on their way to what looks like a strong season. And, Rob, I am not saying this to get under your skin.
You're not going to get under my skin today because Aaron Rodgers looked like he aired the ball out. That's all I'll say. Go ahead, make your point.
He did. He threw for 422 yards, but he was 34 for 53, but he started 10 for 10, and that means he went 24 for 43 the rest of the way. His QBR was just 73, passer rating 93.4. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The interception, you can argue, wasn't his fault. Okay, it was tipped, but it was in the red zone, and his club was in the red zone 7 times.
Yeah, they moved
Only
the ball.
Got 3 touchdowns out of it.
Moved the ball a lot. They got to get more than that.
Yeah,
right.
he set the record, I believe, for most incompletions in the red zone in a quarter. It was like 4 straight,
4 in a row, yes.
Right. But this is all I want to say. And I am an Aaron Rodgers fan, not as much as you. I don't tout him as highly as you do, but I recognize his greatness. I recognize his historical greatness. I think he's awesome, okay? I just want to say this, and I really feel this way. I don't have as much confidence in him as I used to. He is not the best quarterback in the league anymore. That goes to Patrick Mahomes. I would still put Tom Brady ahead of him because of the words you hate, the intangibles. And Aaron Rodgers, you throw it 53 times, you only get 2 TDs. You can't push the ball in the red zone. Now, I know you threw it 4 straight times, which I think is ridiculous when you're within the 5-yard line. You can blame that on Matt LaFleur, the head coach with the new offensive system. But Rodgers, they both said, has the clout to change a play. You have to run the ball at some point when you're in the red zone like that. But I'm just telling you, Rob, and I know we both talked about it going into this game. The first 2 victories, they were good, they were wins, or 3 victories. He hadn't had that blowout Aaron Rodgers game, and we were waiting for it to happen. And if this was it, it's not enough. The yardage is great, but you said it yourself. You only had 2 touchdown passes. So I still am waiting for that Aaron Rodgers game, and I'm starting to wonder if it's going to be a while before I see it, and even when I do see it, will they be few and far between?
See, I looked at the game differently. Obviously, they lost, so when you look at that, you can look at
there's a small menu. There's
right.
a short menu when it comes to sports.
I get it, but I looked at after he gave up the football, right? Before the half, and he had a minute to go. Or whatever it was, like a minute and something. He immediately marched the ball down, and they scored. And I said, there's the Aaron Rodgers that I know. Not a lot of time. They marched the ball down, right? That game could have flipped very easily, Chris, if they didn't get any points, and they got a touchdown. Then, even at the end of the game, they're down. They need him to march the ball down and make plays, and he does. He gets a deflection. It's an interception. I'm not sugarcoating it.
Right.
It was a tip ball, but that's how close, Chris. And I'm just going to ask you this. Had he thrown that and he had the 3 touchdowns, 422 yards, tied the game there and say Crosby kicked the field goal and they won the game, your whole perspective off that one tip would be totally different. Would it not be?
True.
You would have said,
and this is why.
You would have said the Aaron Rodgers was back last night. He was 1 tip ball away from 3 touchdowns, no picks, 422.
It would have been a 3 touchdown game.
No, I'm just saying, but that's how close. So I'm not as lost of confidence as you are. I saw him with the reins off. Yes, it would have been better if he completed some more passes. Yes, in the red zone, 3 for 7 wasn't good enough. And, of course, the defense gave up 34 points.
Yeah, they
you know what I mean? At home.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, you can't give up that many.
Against the run.
Yeah, you can't give up that many points at home. And you're basically asking your quarterback to score you 40 to win, which is fine. But I'm just saying he was a tip away from having that vintage Aaron Rodgers game. When he marched the ball down at the end, I was like, this is all right. You know what I mean? It wasn't 3 and out, and he couldn't move the ball, and they lose. He was right there.
Let me read you a few statistics. And, you know, obviously you and I go at it a lot. And I'm not coming at this like, let's go at it. Let me get robbed because Rodgers didn't win last night. No, it's just something I'm beginning to think about and wonder. Things that make you go, And here's some statistics I read this week. Aaron Rodgers is 0-37. 0-37 when his team trails by 1 point in the fourth quarter against a team with a winning record. In his career, 0-37 when trailing by more than a point against an opponent with a winning record. Aaron Rodgers only has 14 fourth quarter comebacks in his career. That's 75th all time, tied with Trent Dilfer. Tom Brady has 35, Drew Brees 34, Roethlisberger 31. So I'm just saying, here's one more. Aaron Rodgers is 5-23 against winning teams since 2012. That's the same record as Kirk Cousins. We killed Kirk Cousins, and I get it. He's never won a Super Bowl.
I was going to say,
Rodgers.
And he's never won 2 MVPs. So
right.
So be careful before you just throw that out there. Because
still,
no,
he's 5-23 against teams with winning records since 2012. I'm just looking at these numbers and I'm saying, wow, something is not right. He's got to start winning.
When was the last time they had a top 20 defense? Do you know?
No, not off the top of my head.
They haven't
but
had
I can't
one.
Keep blaming it on that. Because Russell Wilson is 26-21 in that same period. Heck, Marcus Mariota is 12-11 against teams with winning records since 2015. Andy Dalton, for goodness sake, is 21-13 and 21-13 against teams with winning records since 2011. Yeah, so I can't just blame it on your teammates.
So, but does that also? What does that also tell you when you put guys who have done it better, who haven't had any success? What does that say? When they've been on bad teams, I don't know that record or how that works out. Where Andy Dalton, that sounds shocking to me.
Well, they were making the playoffs under Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, it sounds like
decent.
It sounds like a pretty impressive record because it's hard to beat. What you want to do is basically kind of be 500 and then, beat up on the other teams. But all I'll say is part of it is Aaron Rodgers. I guess I've seen all the comebacks or whatever he's done because I've seen all the Hail Marys and the big throws and big spots and moments
14.
of games. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them, but I don't know. I'd have to dissect the games and really look at it. The other thing is a lot of times they're not behind. Like the comebacks. No, they're not. They're not behind.
First of all, the defense isn't any good. Now they're never behind. Well, you can't be both.
No, but
if the defense is garbage, then they can't be ahead all the time.
But I'm asking you,
where are these Super Bowls, all these NFC title games they've been to in the last few years?
They won 8 divisions. So 8 out of they win 8 out of 9 NFC North.
We hanging banners for division titles.
Tom Brady and them win the AFC East every year.
That's not what excites people about them.
Hey, but they do, right?
Brady doesn't even mention his division titles. Because he's got something bigger that he mentions.
No, because nobody should mention those because those are layups and pieces of cake. All they have to do is Brady.
You just mentioned them
because he gets
the NFC North.
But I mean, they went. What was their stretch? Even with the coach.
I don't even want you to embarrass yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you.
By the way, for the record, the Packers did have a top 20 defense last year. They were 18th in the league. How about that?
I thought they hadn't had one in 3 years.
No, not according to NFL.com.
They had one last
year. Official.
All right, let's see what the listeners think, Rob. And again, it's just something that makes me go, I'm
telling you, he's a tip pass away from having a vintage Aaron Rodgers game, and your narrative would be totally different.
But Rob, there's a short menu in sports. I heard that somewhere. But I don't know where. I can't recall, Rob. But there's a short menu in sports. Wins or losses. They lost. I don't want to hear about almost or close. You grew up hearing it. Close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades.
And all pregnancies.
Right. 877-99 on Fox. Are you with me? Are you just wondering? I'm not throwing Aaron Rodgers out. I still think he's a great quarterback. But I have yet to see Aaron Rodgers, the real Aaron Rodgers, that I'm starting to wonder, when am I going to? 877-99 on Fox.
Let's start with Marv in Ontario, Canada. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What you got, Marv?
Hi, guys.
What's happening?
Hey, Rob, it official. Aaron Rodgers, do you remember it official?
Yes.
When you were in Detroit? Well, it official. Aaron Rodgers is overrated. Aaron Rodgers has got a great arm. Aaron Rodgers has got fantastic physical tools, but what Aaron Rodgers misses out on is mental toughness. When you look at some of the quarterbacks that have played prior, they might not have had that natural athletic ability. But take a look at somebody like even Warren Moon, right? And compare what he brought. He brought a mental toughness, and I will not be defeated.
Marv, that's nice. You can't even test that or judge that. That's just a judgment call made up in your head. There is no judge for that. And the other thing is,
but Rob, you do know what he means. Whether you agree with him on Aaron Rodgers, Michael Jordan has.
He can't judge that. He can't judge that. He can't tell me Warren Moon has that over Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to sit there and buy it.
He said Warren Moon. Had he said, I mean, you wouldn't have liked it if he said Tom Brady, but Joe Montana, you would have knew what he meant, right? That's all I'm saying. Don't act like he's just coming out of left field with some pixie dust.
All I'm saying is the guy who has the greatest quarterback rating of any quarterback who's ever played, the greatest touchdown to interception ratio of any player who's ever played,
none of those things are on the short menu.
For 403 completions without an interception. All
none
NFL
of those
records.
things are on the short menu.
And then people say,
I didn't even make up the short menu.
No, that's my menu. I get it.
Well, hey, then go ahead to the call. Next call.
Max in Georgia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. Max. All right, Max is gone. What about Aaron in Kentucky? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Of course.
We got to keep that in retrospect. He is a fantastic quarterback. I don't think it's over for him. I think it comes down to his offensive line, his wide receivers, people to get open for him to be able to throw the ball to. That's what it comes down to. I don't think it's over for him. We still got a whole season, and I'm interested to see what he does.
He threw for 422 yards, and he's terrible.
Nobody's saying he's terrible. But is he the same? That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he's exactly the same, no. I mean, as years go by, it's obvious people depreciate.
Tom Brady's not the same. He just won a Super Bowl without throwing a touchdown. But he won a Super Bowl. See, it's not about his
short menu.
No. But I'm talking about Tom Brady.
When he threw for 500 yards, you didn't give him credit because they lost.
Tom Brady he left points on the field. I told you that.
And Rodgers didn't leave points on the field last night.
I didn't say that. I just said he did.
You bent over backwards to talk about how close Rodgers was
trying to tell you. He was a tip ball away.
Tom Brady drops a pass.
Tip ball away.
He's not even a receiver. He drops a pass, and you rip him despite him throwing 500 yards.
Because he looked like Roseanne Barr there trying to go out for a ball.
Stop it. You're biased.
I'm not biased.
Oh, you very biased.
No, I'm not. I'm one of the most objective guys in this business. All right. Let's go to Trucker Justin in Wisconsin. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, guys, can you hear me good?
Yes,
Yep,
can we hit a horn? What you got?
Excellent. I just want to say this is an indictment on Aaron Rodgers, and I got 4 numbers for you: 920, 92, and 128. You know whose stats those are? Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback, but he's on his way out.
Who is he playing?
Hold on, I want to hear this, Aaron, because Aaron, you're from Wisconsin, right? So, I'm sorry, Justin.
No, I'm from Minnesota. I'm a truck driver driving through Wisconsin.
There you go. Minnesota that lost 4 Super Bowls and can't win a big game with Kirk Cousins. Man, you got
I was about to say, somebody from Wisconsin saying that.
You got some nerve, a Minnesota Viking fan. Of course you got your panties in a bunch.
Stick by your guns. We want to see production. It's a short menu. That's all you got to say to Rob Parker. And that'll slow him down. That'll stop him in his tracks. Short menu.
Not at all. Jordan in Seattle, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jordan?
Yeah, I've never been a big Rodgers guy. Not that dispute his talent, but I just don't think teammates buy into him. And I think it's getting more and more apparent. And I think they had to do that just because if you wanted to stay on the team, you had to get on along with the Packers. I went to school with a guy that played with both he and Cutler, and the joke in that conference for years was, "Hey man, you played with Cutler and Rodgers. What's the difference in playing with those guys?" And he said, "Well, his response was always, well, at least Rodgers can play, and that will probably give you all you need to know about him."
Jordan, is that what you said after they won the Super Bowl? Thank you.
That was a long time ago. I don't even remember that. When was that?
Everybody doesn't win a Super Bowl. There's plenty. Ask Dan Marino.
And most people don't win 6.
Ask Dan Marino when was the last time he won a Super Bowl and how great he is. Dan in Wisconsin.
Right? No, we gotta go.
Is that it? Okay.
We gotta run. You all right, man? Your panties are in a bunch.
No, my panties on it. I don't have panties on today. I don't have panties on today.
It's The Odd Couple. All right, should professional athletes be demanding trades? Jalen Ramsey, the great cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, we know he has requested a trade. And with the Jaguars winning their last game, looking pretty good with Gardner Minshew, at the helm, playing quarterback, some were beginning to wonder. The owner said he wants to make Jalen Ramsey the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. You're beginning to wonder, would he stay there? Maybe he'll take back that trade request. Not so fast. On the latest episode of Uninterrupted's 17 Weeks podcast, Ramsey said he's lost all respect for the Jaguars franchise and that it's not something he thinks he can ever get back. And so his trade request still stands. Rob, we're seeing more and more of this. Melvin Gordon, who returned to the Chargers yesterday, he asked for a trade at one point, within the last month. We obviously see it in the NBA more and more with Anthony Davis, Paul George. And what are your thoughts? I mean, are you cool with these athletes requesting or demanding these trades?
I have no problem with it. I don't. You could ask for a trade, and to me, if I'm a general manager or a team owner, I don't want anybody who doesn't want to be on the team. If you don't want to be there, I would rather trade you and move forward, because if a guy's not happy, he's probably not going to give you his all. So I'd rather not. You have to be. I remember Pat Riley saying, either you're in or you're out. There's no gray area. There's no middle ground. And I agree with that. I just think that a player, if you're not happy or not in a situation that's going to work for you, fine. And we have to make some sort of situation. It's not ideal. You don't always want to give up your best players, Chris, and I get it from the team standpoint. You hope that you could work it out and figure something out.
So let's say, just hypothetically, you were the New Orleans Pelicans running the Pelicans, and Anthony Davis came to you last year. I want to trade. Would you be like, look, if he doesn't want to be here, let's get him out of here?
Oh,
or would
yeah.
you try to work it out? Would you try to, hey, well, what can we do? We want to make some changes.
Well, of course, I'd do that first.
Even if he's like, nah, I just want out, would you try to make some changes?
Oh, no.
And see if you can, appease him?
I would like to if it's a star player and my whole franchise is built around him. But ultimately, if he doesn't buy in and doesn't want to be there, it's counterproductive. So I would be like, nope, I'm good. Let's make something. We got to do something else because I just don't want guys like that. And I think it's bad for a team.
My feeling is I'm fine with players doing this as long as, and teams aren't always professional either, but as long as they remain professional. You do your best to remain professional. Don't make it a circus. If you want to trade, I think you go to the front office, you tell them, look, for whatever reason, I want out and I'd like you guys to demand to trade me. Now, what I mean by remaining professional is you go out and play. If you're still under contract, and Jalen Ramsey has done that. He played a good game last week. As far as I can tell, he's going to keep playing. Anthony Davis was willing to do that as well. So you keep playing, you professional. Now, the thing is this. You trade requests without leverage that's a problem because then that's when the player's going to probably act out. Like if you've got 3 years left on your deal, 4 years left on your deal, and you request a trade, they don't have to trade you. So if you remain professional, they may not trade you. But I just say remain professional. I think that's still the best way to do it.
Well, but
if most guys make trade requests when they have the leverage. Anthony Davis could become a free agent next summer. So he had leverage. It was like, look, you can keep me, but you're going to lose me for nothing versus going ahead and getting something for me now. You know what I mean? So
right.
I get that with players using their leverage like that.
But sometimes you do have to make it stink in order for something to happen. And I do get it. It's a strategy. It might not be who you are, Chris, all the way, but to get out of a situation sometimes you have to put up a show, make it stink, make a scene, make them just say, okay, we can't do this. This guy really doesn't want to be here. He's going to disrupt what we have going, so we need to make this happen. So that's the part where I'll say, yes, it's okay. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, if a guy makes a stink like that, just acts ridiculous, to get traded, I would have to know what in the world is bothering him. If it's just, I don't like the city, I'm not happy here, but there's no real concrete thing that, you know what I mean? Like, what's the problem? Then I don't like that. But if the organization is as ridiculous as the players acting, then I understand. I get it. But I just think in general, you should remain professional and do it the right way. But I don't have a problem with guys requesting trades because, as we all know, teams can trade them at the drop of a hat.
Right. They can.
I just think you need to remain professional. When teams want to trade you, they still pay you. They still play you. So they quote unquote remain professional in that regard. Yeah. Obviously, they may not be completely honest with you, and that can be a problem. But if a player's trying to get out, he may not be completely honest with the team either. I mean, sometimes in business, sides keep secrets. But I just think you try to keep it professional, and then I don't have a problem with you wanting out.
Yeah, he obviously wants out, and I'm not going to knock a guy who's going to. He made his request, right, and now it's up for the team. And he said, once a guy says he's lost respect for the people who are in charge, Chris, it's pretty hard to get that back. Because once you lose that feeling, you know what it's like. It's hard to work for people like that.
Yep. Well, Kyrie Irving was speaking on behalf of, obviously he's the leader now, the Brooklyn Nets.
Nets going to win the championship next year, not this year, next year.
Yeah, all right. We'll hold our breath on that.
When it comes to NBA stuff, man, I'm on it.
You mean didn't you predict the Nets to win? Didn't you predict the Nets to get to like the conference finals?
No, I did not. And we have the tape. I said they were going to beat Philly, and they won game one.
Okay. All right.